Welcome to the channel. My name is Douglas, and in today's video, I'm very excited to announce the release of my Essential Worship Sound Pack for the Nord Stage 4. As I've met with you guys and toured around giving workshops for the Nords, I've come across this common question of what sounds should I be using in church? So this sound pack is 8 programs for sounds that I think are staples in the church environment. I'm going to walk you through each one of these, play you a demo of them in this video. You can get these on my website, dsoundman.com. I'll throw a link in the description as well as the top comment of this video. And if you've already signed up for my Essentials training course for the Nord Stage 4, you can get this for free. It'll be an automatic discount. Just make sure you're signed into the same account that you access the course from, and it'll discount it so it's free for you guys to download as a thank you for your support. And if you want to go pick up my Essentials training course for the Nord Stage 4, you can add this to your cart and it'll be free as well. So basically, as a thank you to you guys for supporting the training course that I have for the Nord Stage 4, I want to extend this sound pack as a free add-on to that course. So feel free to go grab that. If you don't have the Essentials training course, have no desire for it, you can still get this sound pack on my website. Enough talking, let's get to playing. I'm going to walk you through the sounds that I put into this sound pack, the sounds I developed, why I developed them, and some cool things around each of these sounds. So the very first one, and for me is a staple and a primary when I play in church, is piano. So this first one, called Piano Combo, is a combination program using the Layer Scene 2 functionality. So we have a button on our panel called Layer Scene 2. And what this allows us to do is switch between 2 layer on-off variations within one program. What this program is a regular piano that's tailored for live use at church. And then on Layer Scene 2, we have a soft piano. So this is a perfect combination. Let me play this for you. I'm going to start with a regular piano, and then halfway through, I'm going to switch to the Layer Scene 2, which is going to change to the soft version of this piano combo. Really easy to switch between those variations with the tap of a button. You can also program your triple pedal 2 or a momentary switch through the foot switch to trigger this layer on and off, so you don't have to use your finger like I'm jumping up and doing here. So again, full, soft. Again, I've developed this with the white grand sample, but then have used the effects to really make this work well in a live situation. And I've used these sounds live. This is what I do as I play live and play at church. So this sound here is one I use on many of my songs. And to kind of go along with that, I have an electric piano combo as program number 2. So similarly, this is 2 different electric piano variations triggered by that Layer Scene 2 button. The very first one is something that's a little bit less atmospheric, fits really well in just a general song where you need something that's warmer. It doesn't cut through quite as much as a piano, but if you play it hard, has a bit of kind of grit and that snappiness to it. If you play it softly, you get those warm bell tones. And then you can kind of snap it. I find this works really well if your other, maybe the primary is acoustic guitar, and then you can kind of mix this in. Now, the second combination, layer scene 2, has a bit more of a vibe effect to it. Or maybe a warmth or atmospheric kind of swell to it. This doesn't have as much bite when we hit it as the first one. So use, in those situations where you need something that sits even further back in the mix, this second layer or this layer scene 2 variation. Really good, kind of just provides that warmth to take away any sort of dead space that you have going on there. So again, these two combos, you can switch back and forth really quickly with the layer scene 2 button or programming a pedal to do this. Now, program number 3 is an organ combo. So following the same vein, we have the acoustic piano, the electric piano, now we have the organ. So these organs, so on layer A, I have a softer B3 used in a lot of my songs that I play. And on layer scene 2, which is layer B, I have a different drawbar variation, which is a little bit more punchy, cuts through the mix a little bit better. Maybe we're getting to the bridge of a song and we need that organ to shine through a little bit more rather than reaching up and grabbing drawbars. Similar to a console organ or a tone wheel organ where you have multiple drawbars, you can switch between those with a button. You can do that with the layer scene 2 button here, switch between those two different harmonic drawbar setups for your B3. So I'm gonna start with the softer one, and then halfway through, I'm gonna switch to that second layer variation for that punchier B3. So I switch back to the softer one towards the end. It's a little different playing B3s on a weighted key bed. I've been playing it on like the V stage and some of these other non-weighted for a while. So switching back to this is a little bit weird. And I have the slow fast speed set to one of my triple pedals. You could trigger that with a button here, but I find it just easier. So as I'm playing this, so let's switch to the second variation. So I'm switching between that slow and fast to give me that variation of the ramp up, that the speaker, the Leslie speaker effect that you have there. So I'm using the foot pedal for that, but you could definitely reach up and press the button here on the panel for the slow fast. And with the organ combo, having that softer and then punchier version allows me to use this program in a lot of different ways as I'm playing songs at church. Now, program number 4 is a punchy pad. So there's certain times in church where I need a synth that's just gonna punch through, provide that nice like and I have the filter frequency tied to both the modulation wheel and my volume style expression pedal. I have a Yamaha FC7 plugged in right now. Nord has an expression pedal as well. There's other ones out there. This allows me to pump this sound. And all I'm doing is taking my foot, so. But it frees me up to play with both hands. The aftertouch is also tied. So after you play the key, if you push it a little bit further, you get the vibrato on there. So this is a very dynamic sound. We can keep it all the way down. We can start to bring that in, maybe on a freedom is here type of sound. You get the idea. So you can bring that all the way. So a really dynamic and versatile synth sound that you can have be subtle or you can just bring all the way in. Now, program number 5 or sound number 5 is a piano synth pad. Now this one is a beautiful piano sound that I developed using the white grand and the felt upright samples, some effects, and then a super saw pad that I turned into this really nice analog style synth pad. Let me just play you that real quick. So what I've tried to do on these sounds and these programs is not only to give you the 8 programs, but to give you the 2 variations. So you have a lot of variety here. So on layer scene 2, we have just the synth version. And then on layer scene 1, we have the piano added in. So layer scene 2, this pad is tied to either the volume style expression pedal or the modulation wheel. I have it set up for both. Then we can add the piano to it. So along that same line, program number 6 is the piano string. Same idea here, where we have this same piano sound from the synth pad program we just heard. Then we can mix in that string. And then on layer scene 2, I pull the piano out so we have just the strings. Bring the piano back in. So the string sound, it comes in pretty slowly, which allows you to really sit down underneath the rest of what's going on stage. Now the last 2 programs here are droning piano and synth, piano and string combos. Now what this does is it leverages the KB hold, and so we can up in our top register here, our top 2 zones are set up for the droning sound. And the way this works, just because when you start to play this, like, where is the synth pad? Where are the strings? So on this is the synth pad version, program 7. This is drone pad combo, and then we have drone string combo as program 8. So with this, what we do is hold just 1 or 2 notes. So the root usually, and then maybe the 5th. So if we're playing in the key of G, I'm gonna hold the G and the D. I'm gonna play those together, and I can fade those in with my modulation wheel or my volume style expression pedal. Now those are gonna hold. I'm not holding the sustain pedal. Those are just going to come in. And then I have all the lower zones below the top 2 dedicated to the acoustic piano. I can play whatever I want on that piano. I can be super busy. And I don't lose that nice, stable, droning synth pad that I have there. I could play another couple of notes, and then those are gonna take over. So any new notes you play replace what you had played before. I like to keep it on that 1 and 5. I feel like that works in most situations. And then what you're playing in your lower, it takes away from the fact that we're not changing the chords in our synth pad. Now, you can turn this off by either fading it out with your volume style expression pedal or the modulation wheel, or you can tap on the KB hold button that's right underneath layer A in the synth section, and that'll turn that off. Now, when you move away and come back to the program, KB hold's gonna be turned back on, so you can do that same function again. Now on program 8, same idea, except this is string, so let's go in the key of C here. So I'm gonna do a C and a G. I don't know where I was going with that. I make all of this up on the fly, what I play in these videos. So there's no real rehearsal or planning that goes into demoing these sounds. So sometimes I have no idea where I'm headed and we just get there and then stop. So drone string combo, again, same functionality, fade it out or turn KB hold off. When you leave and come back, it resets the state of that. So just to run you through, the first few programs are combos, piano, electric piano, organ, and then that punchy synth sound. Then we get into the more layered sounds, the piano with a synth pad and strings, and then the droning synth pad and strings with the piano, and give you the essential sounds for the majority, if not all, the songs that you're gonna play in a church environment. Now, I do have other worship sound packs out there, so you might be asking, what's the difference? So the other worship sound packs I have focus on other areas. So the first worship sound pack I have is geared more towards modern worship sounding synth pads, things like that. And then the second one is more on the intimate side of things. So this is covering the staple sounds, those essentials for church, but definitely check out those other sound packs. I have a full string pack for the Nord Stage 4 as well. So check those out. I also have a free one, which is 8 different pianos that I've developed. So a lot of content on my website. Go check that out, dsoundman.com. If you have any questions around what I went over in this program, I've covered a lot of little technique things. And if you'd like to see more detailed videos on some of that technique, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, stay inspired, and keep making that music.